Hey, what's up? It's Deanna. So I figured I'm gonna have to have no choice but to film this in this orientation because this brooch, this antique brooch, is so long that I have to piss you guys off with this orientation. I apologize. But so what I have here is my antique doll from around the same time this brooch was made, and she is modeling this brooch. And so it has gorgeous, gorgeous dangles on the end, and they're very Byzantinian in style. And then we have these coils that are spring-like and almost snake-like as well. And they travel, it's at least a foot and a half. So if a lady was going to wear this, she would probably wear it like this doll is wearing it, right under her chin somewhere. And then the dangles would dangle down and swing back and forth as she walked. And that's really cool. Now, this particular brooch was made in 1900. Now, a lot of you would think this was a military brooch. You see Napoleon right here in the center. You see the eagle above, and you think right away, oh my goodness, this is a really cool military pin of the time. But it's not. It's actually a woman. And it was actress Sarah Bernhardt playing Napoleon. And so she pissed off a lot of men at that time, men actors, who felt that she was overrated and they could not believe that she was taking away all their roles. She actually did not care. She really had balls for a woman. She was quite like tough and quite feisty. And she just told people exactly how she felt and what was on her mind. And back then, that was not politically correct. Women should basically be seen and not heard. Women should be polite. Women should not say much. Women should just sit home and just, keep their mouth shut. And the men of the time were allowed to curse, allowed to smoke, allowed to go to bars, allowed to do whatever, basically they wanted to do for pleasure. But for her, her pleasure was playing men's roles because there were very few women's roles out there. So, yeah, this is pretty cool. Now, I'm going to actually go to a cutaway and I'm going to show you pictures of what she looked like. And I'm going to tell you some facts about her because this lady was like absolutely batshit crazy. Excuse my my language, but she was nuts. If you heard about what kind of a character she was very eccentric. So let me cut away and show you her pictures and tell you some facts about Sarah Bernhardt. Stay tuned. So here are some facts about Sarah Bernhardt that you probably didn't know. The free-spirited Sarah ran scandalously afoul of her teachers while at the stern and forbidding Grand Champ Convent School. When her pet lizard died, Bernhardt arranged to give the beloved creature a full Christian burial, complete with a procession and ceremony. This was a big no-no for the nuns, who accused the little girl of gross sacrilege. Her acting coach was Alexandre Dumas, the author of The Three Musketeers. Dumas secured an audition for his pupil with the renowned Paris Conservatory. After some deliberation and much to Bernhardt's surprise, she was accepted. Bernhardt had a white-hot temper, and in 1863 she had her worst tantrum yet. Sarah and her sister Regina were at an extravagant actors' ball when Regina accidentally stepped on the gown of an equally temperamental lead actress named Madame Nathalie. Nathalie's reaction was to violently shove Regina away, something Sarah absolutely could not stand for. Sarah promptly slapped and hit Madame Nathalie. In a fit of rage, the established actress demanded Sarah be ousted from the company unless she apologized. When the stubborn, furious Bernhardt refused to say sorry on no uncertain terms, the theater company had no choice but to drop her in favor of their more lucrative diva. This was far from Bernhardt's last controversy. Not much later, she offended the Emperor Napoleon III himself. During a performance the Emperor was attending, Bernhardt recited two poems by Victor Hugo, who, unbeknownst to her, was a staunch critic of Napoleon. The emperor got so riled up that he stormed out of the theater, taking his wife, court, and other guests with him. By the end of the year, Bernhardt quit acting altogether. Her next plan? To travel around Europe and take up lovers. Once, as a publicity stunt, she flew over Paris in a hot air balloon emblazoned with the name of her latest character. Bernhardt was no wallflower, and she delighted in being in the spotlight, but she also made sure it was on her own terms. She would often write letters to newspaper editors responding to negative reviews of her acting, speculation about her weight, or gossip about her personal life. Other times, she would take the easy route and just sue them. Bernhardt loved to spite her critics, especially when it came to remarks about her looks. Once, when a critic commented on her large nose, Bernhardt began having her picture taken in profile. When another called her a broomstick, Bernhardt began wearing tight-fitting bodices to accentuate her slender frame. She also refused to straighten her wild curly hair. Bernhardt had a peculiar obsession with death. From the tender age of 15 onward, she sometimes slept in a custom-made, satin-lined rosewood coffin. She said it helped her study for new roles. This trademark luxury coffin became infamous the world round, and Bernhardt was often photographed in it for publicity stills. The morbid casket was also reportedly lined with letters from her former and current lovers. Bernhardt's fixation with death extended to her acting career. She loved playing characters who died at the end of the play, and this too became a trademark of hers. Once, while performing in front of a particularly inattentive American audience, Bernhardt reportedly stopped midway through a speech and announced, "If they don't keep quiet, I will die in the second act." Bernhardt also loved playing male roles when the opportunity presented itself. She felt these roles were unusually better written and more expressed and a greater range of intellect and emotion, letting her do more on stage. At this time, there were very, very few roles for female actresses at the time. Bernhardt loved animals. Her personal menagerie included everything from a cheetah to 6 chameleons. She also had a pet alligator that she walked around with on a leash. She fed him a diet of milk and he died. In 1906, after a long and illustrious career, true tragedy finally came for Sarah Bernhardt. During a performance in Rio de Janeiro, she injured her leg after leaping from a wall to complete a death scene. The pain was so horrific that she fainted on impact, but when she was brought to a hospital, the ever-stubborn Sarah refused medical help. The limb never healed properly, turned gangrenous, and even had to be amputated in 1915. Now disabled and aging, a proud Bernhardt refused to use either a prosthetic or wheelchair. Oh no, these options were far too mundane for the divine Sarah. Instead, she hired 2 servants to carry her around in a custom-made luxurious litter. Though the amputation did not limit her mobility, Bernhardt continued to perform on stage, propping herself up on a lounge chair. So thanks for watching. I hope you found that interesting. And I'll see you guys all soon. So long.